have you ever heard of white lady tears?
Yes, I have.
I mean, it's a real thing. That's why I say you're a better man than I am, because I have little patience for that. And look, Tim Pool has been trying to get me on, but I'm like, that doesn't help.
No, it was on. I will say this to Tim Pool's credit. His staff were very nice to me, and it wasn't one of his staff or anybody like that. But Don, I've never been called so many homophobic slurs and anti-Semitic things yelled at me when I was up there on the stage. It was pretty awful, I have to admit.
Yeah, but I mean, are you surprised?
Not by some of those people. No, I am not surprised, Don. You're absolutely right. Speaking of,
I mean, look, I don't want to minimize it, but yeah, it's awful that it happened. And I mean, you're not surprised, but we should be. That should not happen in this day and age. But it just shows you the kind of people that I find mostly on the MAGA side.
Yeah, on the far right, you don't hear people throwing out, at least from what I've heard, homophobic slurs at like left events. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I think you'd agree with me on that. So, Don, thanks for joining us. A couple quick topics I want to bring up. First of all, what do you make of the fact that now Donald Trump is threatening to execute certain members, Democrats that serve this country, all because they put out an ad saying, hey, if you're a service member, you should not abide by illegal orders, which, to my knowledge, is not against the law. What do you make of this story?
Well, first of all, Donald Trump knows nothing about the military. Donald Trump is, he is, what does my friend Jen call him? Cankles McTaco Tits. And I call him Cankles McTaco Tits Bone Spurs, because he knows nothing about the military. And so, yes, you're not supposed to follow an unlawful order. And these people, by the way, who he is, according to Chris Murphy, he says that he wants them murdered. That's what he's saying, and executed. And I don't know if you can read those posts any other way than that, and the reposts as well. So Donald Trump knows nothing about that, except I'm sure someone has told him, well, you know, they're right. They're not supposed to follow unlawful orders. And if they get in their minds, these members of the military or ICE or any of those things, and they start following the rules that they're supposed to follow as members of law enforcement, military service, etc., then perhaps they will not carry out Donald Trump's mission, which is to be a dictator and to pick people up off of the streets, many of them American citizens, without due process.
Yeah, very well said. I agree with you. And I thought that ad was fantastic and lawful, might I add as well. Talk a little Epstein. I know you've interviewed Mark Epstein a few times, and he came on my show yesterday. Not only does he believe, he claims that he believes Donald Trump was responsible, most likely for his brother's death, but he also said that he's heard that Republicans are getting scrubbed off of the Epstein files. And now all of a sudden, when the Republicans vote the way they did the other day, and Donald Trump is saying, yeah, vote yes, all of a sudden there's a new investigation into the Epstein files. I mean, can you say, huge cover up here? At least that's my opinion. What's yours on this?
Oh, come on, Brian. There's no way Donald Trump would do that. Of course it's a cover up. Donald Trump knew. And by the way, thank you. I think you actually introduced me to Mark Epstein. If I'm correct. Yes. So thank you for that.
Sure.
I like to give credit where credit is due. And thank you. He's been a really good resource for me during this thing.
He's a good guy. I think he's a good guy.
Yeah. And he's funny as hell.
Yes.
Right. We had so much fun just texting back and forth about the Bubba blow Bubba thing.
I couldn't ask him about that on the air, but we have talked a little bit about it off the air.
Yeah, I mean, he told USA Today that it wasn't Bill Clinton, and he told me before. I didn't report it, but I wish I had reported it down. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So so Donald Trump didn't change his mind because all of a sudden he had an epiphany about, oh, this is the right thing to do. Donald Trump changed his mind about releasing the Epstein files because he was going to get rolled, and it was going to make him look bad that there may be a unanimous vote in the Congress and the Senate. Turns out in the Congress, there was one defector from my home state of Louisiana. So proud of him. But he knew he was going to get rolled. And so for him now to come up with an investigation, and don't tell me this is not orchestrated between Donald Trump and the Justice Department, because I just don't believe it. Because for the same reasons that Joe Biden and the Biden administration didn't release the files during his term, is because there was an active investigation.
Correct.
That active investigation was Ghislaine Maxwell, and then Ghislaine Maxwell's possible appeal, or the appeal of Ghislaine Maxwell. And so now they're going to take that same reasoning to try to get these things from being released, keep them from public view, because the SDNY, the Southern District of New York, has an active investigation. We can't release that, or at least that part of the investigation, and then that's going to be it.
Yeah, I agree with you there as well.
Screams of a scam to high heaven.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. 150%. I don't think we're going to see these files until well after Donald Trump leaves office, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. So I wanted to ask you about this because I know you and Megyn Kelly have gone back and forth, and I've been very clear on this. I think Megyn Kelly is an utterly despicable human being. And then she, on her podcast, is trying to make the claim that it's not so bad if you do something with a 14 or 15-year-old, or nowhere near as bad if you do something with someone who is an 8-year-old. I find that highly despicable. And you had taken some flack for making some statements about her. Why doesn't she get the same amount of attack from the media? And I don't think you said anything wrong, by the way, for the statements that she made.
Because I said she looks like a horsey. No, but anyways, but why? Come on, Brian. You know why. And a lot of your listeners are not going to be like, oh, they're going to take offense to this. She has white lady privilege. She also has Republican and MAGA privilege. It's the same reason, my friend, again, Jen Welch, who is I've had a podcast, that she gets to say things that she says without getting, kicked off of a network or canceled or whatever, because she is MAGA coded. She's a blonde white lady, and people, it's somehow, depending on the packaging that you're in, it's more acceptable that people say things like this. Yeah. And I will give you a prime example. Okay. So that's about Megyn Kelly. She can say whatever she wants about me. People love it. The moment, and by the way, she's been attacking me for years, and I have been sitting back and not saying anything about it. I just take it because I don't want to lie down with dogs. I don't want to get fleas. And also, I don't think she's a serious person. I think that she has built her career on being a troll, or her second career on being a troll, and even before she was a troll. And so I just like, I'm not going to partake. And then after a while, I'm like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to tell it like it is. So she's been attacking me for years, and I've only been attacking her. It hasn't even been a year yet. Right. Or actually just following up on what she said. So you know what? Screw you if you think this is just years of payback. So I'll give you the difference. When I said, you remember when I said that the biggest terror threat in the United States was white men radicalized to the right?
Correct.
Okay. People got banned. They called me a racist. And how dare you call white people terrorists? I'm like, nope, that's what the FBI said. Correct. I'm just repeating so you're not calling Christopher Wray, who's a white guy, a race baiter, and that he's a horrible person. He's telling the truth. So Tim Tebow said 6 months ago or more that there was a problem in America with children and pornography and children who are being essayed by men. And that problem was with middle-aged white men. Tim Tebow, conservative, God-fearing Christian, and said, we have to stop ignoring it. And so when I said it a week ago, everybody lost their minds, or people lost their minds. How dare you? There he goes, attacking white men again. I'm like, I'm not attacking white men. I'm just telling you the truth. We're in the middle of an Epstein investigation, or the releasing of the files. Something fishy is going on. You have Tim Tebow who said this every day across my timeline. Something comes of someone who is found with some sort of child, on their computer, or trying to contact someone who is underage. And for the most part, into the 90 percentile, I believe, it is mainly white middle-aged men. To point that out is not racist or race baiting. Right. So take your issue with Tim Tebow, who has started a whole initiative on it, rather than me just reporting on it once in a while.
And Don, to even take that further, I hate to lump us in with Tucker Carlson, because I think we both are not big Tucker Carlson fans, to say the least. But I agree with him here. Wait, over 1,000 children, he said, were raped, and not one arrest? What is going on here? He's right. Where are the arrests? Where's the accountability? So I completely 100% agree with you there. Last question here regarding two female Congress ladies. Let's talk about Nancy Mace and Marjorie Taylor Greene. You've had run-ins with both of them in D.C. I remember you went up to Nancy Mace. You were very respectful to her. And then after the interview was over, like a day later on social media, she says that you attacked her. Same thing with Marjorie Taylor Greene. You respectfully went into her office. And all the other people that went into her office, you had nothing to do with those people. And then she made it seem like you were the one who stampeded in there. Yeah. Why do these women always want to call themselves victims and claim that you're the bad guy here when you didn't do anything wrong?
Have you ever heard of white lady tears?
Yes, I have.
I mean, it's a real thing.
In
It's
this case,
a real thing. It's like they can attack, and the moment someone just responds or gives back the same energy that they're giving out, oh my God, I can't believe it. That's like, I see these Karens going up to people and like physically hitting them, and when someone pushes them away, oh my God, you attacked me, I'm going to call the police. It's like, well, wait a minute, you tried to punch me in the face and I held. So it's that kind of thing. Look, Nancy Mace, in an odd way, you can have a conversation with her. You can still try to have a conversation with her, but you never know. I think she's unraveling publicly, and I hate to see that. I think she's been really affected by the Epstein files. I don't know if she's a survivor. Perhaps she is, and if she is, then I understand, that she this may be hitting her hard, because I am a survivor. And every time you hear about these things, it's triggering. It brings everything back. So I understand that. But Marjorie Taylor Greene, for some reason, I don't understand, because I went into her office to report.
Right.
And the only thing I asked was, well, is she going to be around to answer these people's questions? That's a legitimate thing. I was just there reporting with a group of people who were going around to congressional offices. And then I went to ask her a question at right after a press conference, and she attacked me. She called me misogynist and all these things. I'm like, lady, you have no idea what you're talking about. But now she's on television saying, I want to be open-minded. I need to talk to as many people as possible. We need to stop being so divisive and start communicating. And I have sent at least 5 interview requests to her. Yeah. Nothing.
Yep. And, not surprised.
Nothing. So, why do they attack? I guess it's just their nature.
Last week, maybe it is. Last week, Marjorie Taylor Greene was scheduled to do this show. They canceled last minute. They did the same thing with your very close friend, Piers Morgan, by the way. Last week as well, she canceled on Piers Morgan about 15 minutes before she was supposed to go on with him. So much for being open, honest, and transparent, right?
So much for that. But also, did you hear that she's being advised by Steve Bannon?
I heard that. Maybe that's why she's canceling some of these interviews. I don't know. You couldn't find a more despicable and racist and ridiculous human being than Steve Bannon. So that doesn't surprise me one bit. Don, before I let you go, I got to get down to New York and do one of these events with you. I'm very jealous of these live studio audience events. I gotta fly down to New York and do one of these with you, man, as a reward, maybe for me having to go on a stage with some of these bigots and racists that I had to go on with.
You'd have a totally different experience, because everyone there is part of a community. But we did have some people who were pretty boisterous, and they fought back. I don't know if that's the right thing, but they didn't necessarily agree with some of the things that we were saying, and then they came back at us, and I like that. As long as you are respectful,
right?
That's good. But we're doing it. We do them in New York. I'm doing one in Philadelphia on December 8th. That one's sold out. I'm doing another one with D.L. Hughley in Chicago on December 10th.
I love him. Yep.
That one's sold out, and so we've added a second show, a late night show at 10:30 in Chicago. So come to Chicago. It's not far from Vegas.
Not too far. Not too far.
I would sell out Vegas if we came.
Hey, man. Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me? 150%. And D.L. Hughley comes out here and performs. And absolutely, if you came out here and you did an event, we would absolutely sell it out. And I wouldn't really even have to help much, I don't think. Just your name alone. I think you got to get out here, man. Get out here and do a show.
I will. I like the shirt.
Thank you. You like red? Okay, good. It's not. I'm not Republican red, though. I want to be very clear on that. Okay. I don't want people.
It looks orange on my thing. Let me ask you though. Have you ever been called a homophobic slur before that?
It's a really good question. Not since probably grade school, when it was like second grade insults. That was so I'm debating. Listen, you know who Myron Gaines is, right, Don? And he's homophobic.
Yeah.
I called him the male version of Candace Owens. I said he was a bigot to his face. I said, you don't even believe the stuff you say, and all you care about is making money. And I said, let's ask your ex-girlfriend who just broke up with you. I went at it with him for 2 months. And believe it or not, I had a conversation with George Santos. And George Santos told me to tell him that he would take his hand and help take him to come out of the closet. So that's what I said. And you know me, not because I'm not pro LGBTQ community, because I am, just because, and you tell me your opinion on this. To me, there's nothing worse than someone who not only does something despicable like attacking the gay community, when he's probably gay himself. That's who I think Myron Gaines is as a person.
Yeah. Well, does he know Benny Johnson?
Yeah, there's another one. There's another one, Don. Don, I love you, man. And I always appreciate it. You're a great friend, and I appreciate you always taking the time graciously to come on the show, man. I love you. Keep up the great work, my friend. You're doing great, and I'm so glad that you get to do your own thing now, because it's so much better. We get the real Don Lemon, and I hear that from some of my listeners every day. They love what you do. They're all lemon heads. So thanks for the time, my friend.
Oh, that's crazy. Thank you. Can I just say one thing? We're closing in on 1 million subscribers on YouTube. So if you guys are here, go to the Don Lemon Show on YouTube and subscribe. It is free, and listen to our content sometimes. And you know, I need to have you on.
Love to. Anytime you want, man. I mean, I always go on with Pierce, so why wouldn't I go on with you?
Well, I mean, because you never know. I might call you a homophobic slur.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Or what did he call you? What did he call you on his show again? I'm trying to remember.
Asshole or a dick
yeah,
or something like that. Yeah,
something like that, because he brings up you being on CNN and what happened to you 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah, which is very newsworthy today. What a joke. Anyway,
you know what? I wasn't going to give him what he wanted. I wasn't going to lose my cool.
You were the classy person in that conversation, and I guess you learned your lesson. That's why he had you on, so he could just attack you. You know that's not going to happen when you come on here. So I appreciate it. Don, you're the best. I love you, man. And we'll talk soon. Thank you, Don. Take it easy.
See you later.